Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
You're Chastity, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, today we are going to be learning for the very first time about the cello.
Okay.
Have you ever seen this instrument before?
I've only seen it, but I've never played it, but I really like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to change that and we're going to start learning how to play it. Before we can play it, though, we have to know how to hold it.
Okay.
And how to set it up and all the things. So first, I want you to see your cello in front of you, okay? And then, if you will, just carefully grab by the neck and kind of the body of the instrument and just hold it, bring it up right in front of you.
Okay.
If you notice, it's a little short. It's probably shorter than you with it standing right here.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make it so that the black things on the instrument, these are called the pegs. We want to make sure that the pegs are lined up about by our ear, by the side of our head. And even if you bring it next to you, you'll notice that the pegs are still going to be too short because you might have it a little closer to you than me. But okay, so now I want you to carefully pick up the instrument and set it on your lap. And then we are going to unscrew the bottom thing down here. This is called our end pin. And we're just going to unscrew it and then pull it out about here. So like 4 inches maybe.
Okay.
And then we're gonna screw it back so that way that the pin doesn't slide in as we're playing. And then we're carefully gonna set it in front of us again to see if it's at the right height now. So we're still gonna want to pull it out a little bit more because it's still not quite tall enough for us yet. So we'll pull it out a couple more inches and see if that's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. Okay. Now, if you'll hold it in front of you like this for a moment, I want you to see how it's placed on your lap.
Okay.
So, as a lady, it's kind of an interesting instrument to play because you have to put it between your legs. So, it'll be resting primarily on your left leg.
Okay.
So, like, if you want to set it on your left leg, and then you'll angle it a little bit.
Okay.
And then the bottom part of your instrument should be, like, resting or touching your right knee.
Okay.
And then you'll have that slight curve inwards this way.
Okay.
Not too much. You don't want it like laying like this where it's facing that way.
Okay.
You just want it like pretty good set like in whatever degree angle that would be.
I'm not good at that.
That way. Me neither. It's okay. So, now that we have this, we're already halfway there. But we want to know what all of the things on our instrument are.
Okay.
So first of all, I want you to notice that the bottom part of the instrument that's on our leg has a name.
Okay.
We're going to name him this big old round part. If you look at the big bottom part. This is called the lower bout.
Okay.
So the edge right here, where the lower bout ends, that's going to be right where what is set on our other leg.
Okay.
And then we have this curve right here, and this is called the waist on both sides. Got the waist of the instrument because, like a person, your waist is usually smaller than the rest of your body.
Okay.
And then you have this part, which looks very similar to our lower bout. It's called the upper bout. It's the same thing, just smaller and on the top. Then we have this brown piece, this wooden piece right here. This is called the bridge. And if you carefully pick up your instrument and if you look through these F holes on your instrument, you might be able to see a wooden rod that's attached from the bottom of the instrument and the inside.
Oh, yeah, it is on this side.
Yeah. It's going to be about where your bridge is, one of the legs are, and without that wooden piece is called the sound post. Without the sound post in your instrument, or if it's knocked out, one of the two, if it's not there, your instrument's not going to make any sound. So it's very important.
Okay.
And your bridge is also important because it keeps your strings up and it gives the tension you need to be able to play the strings.
Okay.
The strings are these. I'm sure you could have figured that out. But with the strings, we have the black part, which is called the fingerboard. With the fingerboard, that's where we're going to place our fingers. So when we go to play, we're going to place them anywhere along this black part. So we're not going to go anywhere else.
Okay.
And then, same like with when we get to the bow, for instance, which will probably be the next lesson.
Okay.
But when we do the bow, we're not going to use our bow on the fingerboard. Because the fingerboard is just for our fingers, not the bow. So the bow will be in between the fingerboard and the bridge.
Okay.
When we get to that point. But just so you know for now. The strings are held inside of this piece on the top of our instrument. And this is called the peg box.
Okay.
If we remember from earlier, the pegs right here are these black pieces. And the strings are actually attached to the pegs. When you move the pegs up and down, away from you or towards you, then those will either loosen or tighten the strings to tune the instrument.
Okay.
And then we have the scroll up here. Yeah. It looks like a scroll. It's
kind of like a seashell almost.
Yeah, it is kind of like a seashell. Yeah. But now that we know that, we want to know the different names of the strings. So if you notice, there are 4 strings on the cello. And you have, starting from your right side, you have the thicker string going to the left, which is the thinnest string. If you start at your thickest string and you just wanna run your finger on it, you're plucking it essentially. In order to properly pluck your strings, you want to make sure your thumb is right on the fingerboard on the bottom. And then you just kind of move your finger. Sorry. Move your finger on this string to pluck it.
Okay.
And then you'll do the same thing going up. Your thumb will stay in the same spot, but your hand is gonna make this kind of like doorknob motion,
and
if you will.
You don't use your thumb to pluck any strings, just this one?
Right. Okay. Just your pointer finger.
Okay.
You could use your thumb, but then there's no stability, and you'll want that. Because, like, for instance, say you're not using your left hand, like, at all. If you're going to pluck your strings, if you just use your thumb, there's nothing holding on to your instrument other than your legs. So it'll be very wobbly.
Okay.
Now, you should be holding on to it with your left hand anyway.
Sure.
But for whatever reason, say you're a one-armed cellist. I don't know. I haven't seen it personally, but I've heard of them.
Okay.
But say that, then, there's still stability. Okay, so with the thickest string, you'll go this one.
Mm-hmm.
You'll pluck it and say C.
C.
This is the C string.
This is the C string.
Okay? And then you go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, this is the G string.
This is the G string.
Uh-huh. And then you go to the third string. This is the D string.
This is the D string.
And then the very last one,
Oops.
this is the A string.
This is the A string.
Very good. Now, in case you need help remembering what all of these are, if you can't remember the little diddle that we just did,
Mm-hmm.
you can know. Goodness, you can know it by cats
Mm-hmm.
go down alleys.
Mm-hmm.
You could try
Okay.
doing something like with cows. So you could say cows go cows go